Hey everyone, I'm Nick and welcome to the channel. Now if you're like me and you drive your car on the road, you'll know that other people sometimes do crazy things, and that's one of the reasons I like to have a dash cam. But usually a dash cam install, you have to worry about running a fuse tap or taking up a 12-volt socket, and that can be kind of a hassle. Now today we're going to look at a dash cam that looks completely factory. It mounts by the mirror and all the wiring is tucked away behind the factory cover. So we're going to go from this to this in a 2017 Audi A3. And what's really cool about this camera is that you don't have to run any extra wiring. You just have to plug in an adapter that plugs in between the rain sensor and the car's harness. So they'll get power automatically right in that spot. We also have a rear dash cam since it's a front and rear setup, and we'll be installing that at the back and tucking all the wiring away to keep the factory look. So the first thing we're going to do is check out what's included in the box. All right, let's see what's included. We have the model number, fit for Audi A3 2017, which is perfect. Let's get this open. Let's see. Some information here about connecting to the camera's Wi-Fi, some notes, some tips. What's good to have. There's a couple types of instruction diagrams. Let's see, we'll look at which one matches the car. So you have the two types here and here. We got couple zip ties, our instruction manual. This is a really thorough manual, huh? That's good. So this covers all the operation, how to use the interface and connect to it with your phone, which we'll look at a little later. And here we have the actual hardware. So this is the unit itself. Got the optional GPS plug, got the power plug, a rear camera plug if you plan on using one. In here, we have the rest of the connectors. We have got the adapter harness. So this side will connect to the camera itself, and this will plug in between the existing sensor harness and the car to power it. So it's very convenient. So it passes through the sensor's connection by the mirror, but it also piggybacks and grabs the power to power the camera. So you don't have to run any wires to a 12-volt adapter, which is very convenient, and that's why this can look so factory. We got a micro SD included. This one's a 128. That's very nice. And a trim tool. So if you don't already have one, that's included. And then right here we have the rear camera. So you can adjust it to install it. It's got some adhesive so you can mount it on the inside of the windshield. So that's very good. And that will just plug in here. And this is plenty long enough to run all the way to the back, which is great. All right, and then right here on the unit itself, we have a little sticker protecting the lens. Put it on until a little later. We've got a couple lights, a couple buttons, and the micro SD card slot. So, cool. And we do get a spare adhesive for the rear camera, so that is really nice. This one doesn't need adhesive, it'll just snap into the existing hardware with these right here. So they'll just snap into place in place of the original cover in that spot. So cool. So here we have our mirror mount cover. So we're going to be removing this piece and this piece. Now to do that, we're going to start by removing this rear piece. So we can move the mirror out of the way a bit. And what we want to do is pull back here. And you can see there's little clips. And this just lifts out. This is very easy to remove. Now the next one is this one right here. And for this, to remove this one, we're going to pull this down this way. So along that line. Okay, so grab both. And spread it apart a bit. go. So you pull both sides outwards a little bit, and then it slides down. It'll slide straight down. So you pull outwards and straight down here. You can see the grooves here, and there's the same one on the other side. And that goes along those grooves there. And the reason we pull out is because right here, we have a little catch that grabs on here. Now here you can see there's two connectors. We've got one bigger one here and a smaller one right here. This one powers the auto dimming mirror, and then the other one is the sensor for the rain sensor, is a connector for the rain sensor, which is mounted directly to the windshield. We're only disconnecting the top one, this big one we're leaving in place. It's a little tight. Okay, this one is mounted in here, so we can pull it down out of the way slightly. And this one we need to reach in with our tool maybe. Carefully see if we can. There we go, just unplug there. You can see the connector right here. And that is going to plug, this is going to replace that right here on the Y harness we get. So that you can see here, right there, there's a little flat piece. So our new part right here. So we can just pop that in here. There we go. And right here we'll connect the piece that comes from the headliner. There we go. And then this will connect to the new dash cam. Now that we've connected our Y harness up there, we can slide this back into place here. All right. Now before I plug in the dash cam, I'm going to put the SD card in. You can do that at any point. We got this. Let's see. There we go. Now right here we can pull our connectors out, and this is just going to slide up on here. So line it up. You can see the guides right there. And those slide in here. So we're going to have our piece right here. This is going to come together like this. So our our wires can go back. But they have to be on either side of the mirror stock. That feels secure. Don't forget to remove your lens cover. And now we can connect our power wire here. That's gonna go in here. It'll only fit one way. Got the little nub on the top. It's gonna go into the slot up here. And if you need to release it, you can just push on this. But there we go. We gotta tuck the extra wire up into the headliner so that we can have enough room to put our cover back on, because it is a pretty narrow pathway. So let's see what we can do here. All right, so to help me get these wires in the headliner, I'm actually gonna remove this part here. So to do that, we're gonna pry off the black layer first. That's gonna come off from the rear here. Oh, the whole thing's coming out. Okay, let's see. We'll do one layer at a time. We'll do this first. That pulls straight down. And then here, I'm gonna start from there. There are two metal spring clips in the sides. You might be able to feel them here, and you might be able to see them in these openings there. The two little openings, one here and one here. And if I reach in, you can kind of see the edge of the metal spring clip. And then I believe there may be a couple more in the rear. So the side comes down, you can see the edge of the spring clip here. There's something else catching up here. Let's see. Oh, there's another clip there. Okay, so there's actually a spring clip right here that snaps into the actual roof in there. And then the rear here, you should be able to see these two slide out this way. So when we put it back in, it'll be this and over. Now, the reason I pulled this off is because with this out of the way, I should be able to flex this enough to grab all the wires I need and tuck them away in here. So we're gonna move this one up. We can. We'll reach this here, push that in. Okay, GPS connector we'll tuck in here as well. If you have a GPS antenna, you would plug it in now and have that come back out, but we're just gonna tuck it in here. There we go. And now I'm actually gonna feed this one in, which is the biggest connector, but I'm gonna feed it in, and then we'll feed in the end of the camera cable. We'll connect them back here, and then we'll run the camera cable out and along the side of the headliner. We're gonna have to feed it in sideways there. Grab it back out here. And actually, maybe able to put our cap over this now. Put that on. Tuck that in here. Run this back. And can snap it on here. Oops. Okay, well, that's good that it works. It took me a little time to arrange the wires in the right way, but I eventually got it in. There we go. All right. Nice secure, everything's hidden. Our mirror back where it needs to be. And now we are gonna run our backup camera wire in and make the connection up here. So, feed this in. Make that connection in here. There we go. Tuck that back in here. Should tuck all this in here. And we can put our rear tabs back in here. Put these in here. And we have to, there we go. This back on, put this cap back on. I'll just go straight up. Okay, cool. So this here is installed, and now our rear camera, we can get started on that. Now, before we install the rear camera, we need to connect to the Wi-Fi of the dash cam to see the image and make sure we install the rear camera the right way around. So to do that, we'll go to our phone. We're going to install the Skycam app, and then we'll go into the Wi-Fi, and we're going to connect to the E970SP. Then you're going to have 4 letters and numbers that are going to be unique to your camera. So we'll connect to that. The Wi-Fi password for that is 1234567 and you might see it says no internet connection, and that's expected because all it is doing is sending the video footage to the app. Then you'll hit add camera, and you'll have to allow this app to access that Wi-Fi, and we'll connect. And here we can see, let's see the front? It's nice and centered really well, so you don't have to adjust any position. And then if you hit this little icon here, you can see the rear. So that one's in my lap right now. You can see right here, it is the wrong way around. So we'll be installing it like this. Now on the back, I moved the sticker that was included so that I know which side is up when I install at the rear. And I'll pull that off. You can actually see there's a little blue light right there when it's powered on. Now, if you want to go in the app while we're here, we'll take a look. Go to camera files. They load up a bunch when I was messing around with it earlier. So there we go. And if you go to camera settings over here, oh, it will pause the recording while you're accessing the files. If we go to camera settings, check, you can choose the speaker volume, image resolution. When you take a snapshot, you have the video resolution. The front camera is 4K and the rear is 1080p. Or you can turn the front camera down to 2K and 1080 as well. Your loop record, you can have it record in loops of 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes. And that allows you to keep recording without filling up the SD card. So once it gets full, it'll delete the oldest one and record a new clip. We'll format the SD card. It's good practice to do it when you get started, so we'll start with that. And there you go. And if you wanted to change your Wi-Fi password, you could do that here. Oh yes, and it does record sound, so it will pick up audio. There's a little microphone by the buttons on the side. So that kind of covers everything we need. Alright, so I'm using my phone to see what this sees. I'm going to try to position it somewhere good. So I think I'm going to feed this wire up in here. There we go. And peel that off. Alright, start feeding that in there. And one thing you have to be careful of is that we do have to feed this big connector in somewhere. So we have to tuck it away. So maybe if I can, if I'm able to, I can make this one of the first things I put in if there's room in the headliner. There we go. Tuck that in here. And we're good. All right, that is started here. Now we have to work our way over. So the reason I'm starting at the back is that if there's excess wiring, we're gonna have to find a place to put it. And it'll probably be easier if it's to find a spot towards the front than towards the rear. So it's easier to work from here and then figure it out than to get here and have a bunch of excess, especially if you don't know if you're gonna be able to fit it. It seems like there's a decent amount of space in here, but that's not always guaranteed. So at least I was able to get that connector in here, and that means that this is pretty stealthy there, and we can keep moving. So I gotta work this over, and we're gonna try to go down this seam here, this join between the C-pillar and the headliner. And when you're working with trim tools and your cloth or headliners and stuff, make sure that your edges are nice and smooth. You don't want to scuff it up. So then we go into the door seal. And we're gonna go behind the A-pillar, tuck that in here. We're gonna go over, and actually we're gonna tuck this in here. And what I'm gonna do is actually pop that top console down, and we're gonna wrap the extra wire and tuck it in there as well. Now we go up to the headliner. Boom. Take this back out. Okay. And then we're gonna bundle this up carefully, zip tie it out of the way, connector back there. There we go, all set. So that's the dash cam installed. I was able to do the whole thing with just trim tools, so that is a big plus. I also really like the factory look. because the way it mounts, it looks like it could be a factory option. I want to say a big thank you to Mangoal again for sending me this unit to install, and if you want to get one for yourself, they have options for a lot of brands and models, so be sure to check them out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.